We are here today with Deborah Jean Johnston, a female entrepreneur. DJ started her first business after graduating high school while going to college and has been an entrepreneur ever since. So how did you get into the frozen yogurt business?
I had been involved in frozen yogurt. It was more of a creamy product called TCBY, but I had that in juice bars in New Jersey that were in health clubs years and years ago, before you were born.
How did you come up with the name for Brainfreeze?
I had many choices written down, and we were in the backyard on the rope swing one summer evening actually, and you and your friends were all going on the rope swings, and everybody just kept coming back to Brainfreeze saying, no, we like Brainfreeze better. And I had so many names that I liked, but you all the kids just loved Brainfreeze, the name Brainfreeze, so we went with it.
After you settled on the name Brainfreeze, how long after until you opened your doors?
It took many months to find the location, negotiate a lease, and then of course you have nothing but, it's called a vanilla box, which is just an empty space. And then everything from buying the equipment, drilling through concrete floors to put in grease traps. It took many months, 6 to 8 months to build that out, another 8 to 10 months to get it fully equipped. So it was over a year before we were opened.
How many locations do you have?
We have 2 locations, one in Milton, which used to be called Alpharetta, and now we're out in Canton.
Can you tell us a little bit about the experience of Brainfreeze?
Yes, as a customer, when you walk in, our employees are trained to welcome everyone that walks into the shop with a welcome to Brainfreeze. And we have 18 rotating flavors every day. Every week we change 3 of them out, so there's always new flavors in. We hand make probably, I'd say 30 to 40% of our flavors in the back room with blenders and all natural ingredients, and we have 120 to 24 toppings on any given day. And it's fun. We let the employees pick the songs that we play. We have a Brainfreeze playlist. And the kids just love it there. Bright colors, good music, and lots of toppings, and it's just a fun atmosphere for families to come to.
Besides frozen yogurt, what else do you do?
Well, long before frozen yogurt, I got involved in real estate and land. Real estate first, with small investments that I would fix up and then turn around and sell, and also raw land, like down at Lake Oconee. We have hundreds of acres that we have bought, and then we sell off parcels of them, so we have a lot of fun with the real estate and land.
So you said that you became an entrepreneur when you were 18. How did that come about?
When I was 18, I bought the house that we had at the Jersey Shore. It was about 5 blocks from the beach, and it was a small beach house, and I bought that with a loan from a friend, and some of the money I had from an accident I had when I broke my jaw. So I bought that house and ripped out all the carpeting and found hardwood floors and made it a nice little house 5 blocks from the beach. Lived in it for 2.5 years as I did the work, and then turned around and sold it. So with the profit that I made from that house, which was about $25,000, I then paid back the investors and parlayed that into another property, a condo, that I talked them down and got a great price on. So that's pretty much how I started in real estate, and over the years I would travel to different places that I liked. Boca Raton, Florida, Punta Gorda, Florida, the Keys, Colorado, and wherever I went, I'd grab those little books that were the little real estate books. Always. Every vacation I went on, New York City, wherever I was, I'd grab those little books. And I'd leaf through them on my vacation in my spare time and look at real estate. And it's just something I enjoyed doing, though I never became a realtor. And I would look for great little deals. Back then, they had to be about $100,000. And I would find little properties, and when I was going to move, say, to Boca Raton, Florida, it's a place I wanted to move to after college, I found a condo there, talked them down to $105,000. It was 3 bedrooms, got 2 roommates in there to live and pay rent, And that became an investment property. When I moved out 2 years later, I rented it to a family, and that became a very good investment. And over those years, I probably had another 8 to 10 properties that I got involved in the same way and turned them into rental properties, where I would rent them out to families. Some I would turn around and sell if it was a very good profit that could be made. So that's how I got involved in becoming an entrepreneur, and I never really worked for a company.
So what have you done recently in real estate?
Well, when I moved to Georgia and had you 17 years ago, I was kicking and screaming moving here because I've lived in some very nice places in the United States, and I didn't know what there was to do here. There was no beaches. There was mountain getaways, but no real skiing to speak of. So I felt like, what do people do? I found Lake Lanier and read up that the water wasn't so clean. You can't really eat the fish out of it. And then I found an article that was in the AJC about a Ritz-Carlton that was coming to Georgia, and it was being built on a place called Lake Oconee. That following weekend, got in the car, David and you and I, and went down to Lake Oconee and found the dirt road that took you back to the lake where everything had been cleared and the trees had been knocked down and all kinds of equipment there. Nothing had been built yet, but they were surveying all the property, and that's where the Ritz-Carlton was going to go, with the most beautiful views. So again, got my little books and started looking at properties at Lake Oconee, and looked and looked and looked for probably 3 weekends, and found our first little lake house down there. So kept that, loved that for years, went there every weekend, every vacation, every summer, and then got another lake house at Lake Oconee, which is the one we use now, which has the max dock and is bigger, and still have the other one as an investment property. So that one we use it, and it's also a vacation rental property on VRBO that people can rent for a week, 2 weeks, and that does very well. But the one that does the best is the one up in Highlands, North Carolina, which is called Hunter's Lodge. Wonder where I got that name. So, and that one I found in 2011, and it was torn apart. The guy that owned it owned a place called the Archery Barn up in Franklin, North Carolina, and he got involved in a pellet business. Pellet business are these pellets you put inside a fireplace to burn. So he built a factory, he put $4.something million into it, and had high hopes for these pellets that were going to be sold all over America, and he lost everything. And he was a custom log home builder, and the cabin we have, he built for his family, sitting on 12 acres with those gorgeous views. So the bank took away all his properties. He had 4 of them at that time, including the one we bought. So when I found it, it had just come on the market. The bank had just taken it from him. And he had, the guy who built it, Steve, he had torn out every sink, all the doors, custom-made doors. He had torn everything out. He tore lights, beautiful custom lights, out of the wall, and the wire ripped the drywall because he was so angry the bank took this away from him. And the barn didn't have a face on it, the big barn. So I negotiated with the bank and got that property, and that became a 2-year project. As you know, you went up there so often and helped create Hunter's Lodge, which is a beautiful property that is booked so often at over $300 a night that we have to book our own time into it. So that is, I'd say, my favorite property that I've redone.